President Ramaphosa, why are you so concerned with what the United States is doing? Why are you so concerned about other nations? We got our own problems here. Ramaphosa, we have poverty here. We have inequality here. We have high levels of unemployment in South Africa, Ramaphosa. Don't you know? Why are you so concerned with what Donald Trump is doing for his people? Donald Trump, in fact, I'm appealing to you, sir. Donald Trump, please, leave the president of Venezuela. Take Ramaphosa, please. Take Ramaphosa instead. Take him, kidnap him. You can play with his nose in your house. We don't need this man. He's concerned with you. He loves you so much. He has forgotten he's the president of South Africa. Not Venezuela, South Africa. Not Palestine, South Africa. Why are you so concerned, Ramaphosa, about what Donald Trump is doing? Ramaphosa, Donald Trump is stealing for his people to benefit. He is stealing for his people. You, Ramaphosa, are stealing from your people. There's a big difference there. Man, stay the hell out of the business of the United States. You're causing problems for us, man. We don't need to be involved there, man. Mind your own business, man. Come on, man. Cease, man.
South African government accuses the US of violating the UN Charter. Very interesting. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some of the videos that are currently busy trending online with regards to Donald Trump sending in the US military to go and take care of a couple of things over there in Venezuela, and also ultimately capturing the president as well as his wife and bringing them through to the US. And there's obviously reasons for all of this, which I'm not going to dive into over here today. But I do want to share a lesson, I think a great lesson for you and I as young people of this beautiful country to learn. And the lesson is simply this: before you try and fix somebody else's house, get started with fixing your own house. Okay, remember, there's a great saying that says charity starts at home. So before we start pointing fingers at other people, let's start pointing fingers at ourselves and see where you and I, as young people of this beautiful nation, can make the necessary adjustments.
Compliments of the new season. Happy New Year. Sanibonani bafethu nyaka nomusha omuhle 2026. Hope ningene kahle. Mhlawumbe ngivele ngikhulume ngayo lento ngoba khona sabela kube ngibuza ukuthi mina ithini umbono wami ngayo. Indaba le ye-US ukuthi igasele ngesankahlo eVenezuela icaphuna upresident wakhona ngenkani ithathe yena nomkakhe base bethi bazoluhola noma bazolibusa izwe lase Venezuela until kukhethwe umuntu noma kubekwe ugovernment ovumelana nama policies e-US. Siyazi ke sonke ukuthi upresident wase Venezuela has been vehemently against USA nangama policies ayo. Ngikhulumile ke ngale topic kwi Durban Network kade bengi-inviteile. Ngakhuluma nje lengthily about into le eyenzakalayo that involves i-US ne-Venezuela. Uzoyithola yonke iscope sakhona, nanokuthi i-South Africa ingena kanjani ekuthenini ihambe phambili ekutheni ayilwe ne-US. I-South Africa ke kulempi yokulwa ne-US ayisupportwa phela yi-BRICS, but isupportwa na-G6, meaning excluding i-America. Kodwa ke even kuyona i-America, ama-Democrats ayayisupporta lento eyenziwa uRamaphosa yokulwisana no-Donald Trump. But this is going to be bad news for South Africa at a long run. Basically, what is going to happen, on my own prediction, Cyril is going to win the battle against Trump, but he's going to lose the war in the context of South Africa. Njengamanje ke usebize a special envoy of EUN, ngathi envoy, but a special sitting for EUN since kwenzakale lento enzakalile eVenezuela. Buka abanye opresident bamanye amazwe benzani, they are condemning into eyenziwe uTrump, which is vele kufanele kwenziwe lokho ngoba he invaded a sovereign country. Ngingathi futhi invade, basically ucaphune upresident wakhona ngenkani okuphambeneke nemithetho yamazwe. Nakho ke lapho into engifuna uyibonga, ngiyazi ukuthi nje South Africa ingene lento yangena South Africa kakhulu because South Africa is being used as a pawn kulempi le to topple uDonald Trump. Ama-Democrats siyazi sonke ukuthi alisana nama-Republican lapha ya-US. Alright, so anything elwisana no-Donald Trump basuke bezoyisupport. Number 2, i-G6 yonke njengoba iyanza kusemandleni onke ukuthi bekhiphe uBoris wase-UK, they will do everything in their power ukuthi kukhishwe uDonald Trump, ukuthi basuke bengeke belwe nawe ngqo, basuke bezosebenzisa amanye ama-means okukhipha if bekubona ukuthi wena you are a radical type of a leader and you are unpredictable njengoba uDonald Trump nje enje. So ake sibuke ke unfolder. Ngike ngakhuluma ngento engithi yayi prophecy uma uyibuka leya video kuleya podcast ababe meme kuyo yokuthi i-event eyenzakala ngo-August la eSouth Africa lapho khona iBuffalo killed a US millionaire was a prophecy. Iphindeke futhi yaconfirmeka these past 2-3 days. Njoba kade kufikeke this American la eSouth Africa uSpeed, iSpeed bani, I love Speed noma bani uSpeed kodwa niyamazi. Ngicela nibuke le yanto yakhe because prophecy. Ngiyazi ukuthi into ama-prophecies zi-deep futhi angifuni ukuthanda kuba spiritual ngalento engikhuluma ngayo, angizami futhi ukuba khona njalo, but ngifuna ukukhombisa ukuthi how will Americans side and partner with South Africans to dethrone uTrump. But how will this be bad for South Africa? Because it's going to be an attack to America at the end of the day. Ngisho ngayibonga ngayiphi indlela iSouth Africa lezobe yi-leader. And at the end of the day, it shall go to history as ukuthi South Africa is hostile against the America. Even Chobongena, president of Democrats, will not be kind towards South Africa because on policy and on a principle a point of view, ukuthi umuntu that has been seen to act against your national interest, loyo muntu loyo is your enemy. And at the end of this all, South Africa, like I said before, is going to be left in the center of the war alone, because it BRICS nations, they've observed what South Africa is doing, and also G6 is using South Africa against their own force, which is America, but they don't like Trump. Hey, hambani no follow each of these geopolitics things. Ngiyazi abaningi ngisazokuvumelana ngale. Ngiyazi abaningi futhi leba izobadida bazoshaba kusho it's okay, but that's how politics is. Showcase.
South Africa has called out America for the military strikes that they carried out in Venezuela about 2 days or 3 days ago, right? Many people, especially South Africans, they don't understand South Africa's position in international conflicts, international beefs, right? South Africa has been victimized before. It has fought the victimization and overcame it, and we are now trying to build forward with the same people that victimized us before. So we're like a big brother when it comes to international conflicts. That's why every time there's a country that's been victimized, the big brother steps in and they're like, no, guys, can't you find other ways to, We tried to speak to Russia and encourage them to find a less violent solution between Russia and Ukraine. We took Israel to court, to the ICJ, for the genocide that they committed in Gaza. Now we find ourselves in between America and Venezuela. So let's talk about this one. So America, like I said, has carried out this large-scale military strike in Venezuela, and they claim to have captured Nicolas Maduro, which is the current sitting president of Venezuela. I'll tell you why I say they claim so. And then South Africa was the first, if not one of the first countries to stand up and say, no, Donald Trump, we don't care how much you already don't like us. What you are doing is wrong, my brother. Many South Africans are scared of this stance, and they say we're only going to make matters between us and Trump worse. But as the big brother, it's your responsibility. It's at this point, it's our responsibility to maintain global peace, which is something that the US was supposed to have been doing, right? Donald Trump said that America will run Venezuela until a proper transition can happen, judicious transition. So Donald Trump doesn't like the current government of Venezuela because the current government wants to do what Burkina Faso did. They say our minerals must benefit our people. Donald Trump wants Venezuela's oil to benefit Americans. When they refuse, he creates a narrative. The next screenshot will show you the narrative that he's been building against the Venezuelan president. It also says the US government will also take control of Venezuela's oil reserves, which are the largest in the world. This is the only thing that they want. And since they couldn't get that, they are now building stories against the president, and they claim to have went into the country to capture the president because, look at this, because he has to come to America to face drugs and weapons charges in Manhattan Federal Court. So this is the narrative that they built against Nicolas Maduro. They say he has arrived in New York, but this is only a claim because no Venezolana, no media from Venezuela has actually confirmed that the president has been captured. Even Trump himself didn't release any proof of this capture. So the American media outlets are the ones that are talking about the capture, largely only because Trump and his team say so. They say they have captured him. But what we know for sure now is that nobody really knows where Nicolas Maduro is. He could be dead from the airstrikes. He could just be hiding. But until we get the proper confirmation, Nicolas Maduro has not been captured, right? So I guess it's still a developing story. We are yet to find out what actually happened and where he is. So South Africa, being the big brother that we are, has called the United Nations Security Council to quickly have a meeting to address the situation between America and Venezuela. And that council is going to meet today to discuss it. And I think it's actually good that the Secretary General thinks that America is setting a dangerous precedent. This means if no one calls out America, then all these powerful countries are going to continue victimizing smaller nations because, yeah, America did it, no one said anything, so why are you coming for us now? So something has to be done to stop America and to show other powerful nations, mainly China and Russia, they are the ones with nuclear weapons, right? To stop them from thinking that they could just go into smaller countries and do as they please. Now, if somebody bullies your little sister or your little brother or your cousin, or if somebody bullies the next door neighbor, your next door neighbor's kids, bro, you gotta stand up and call them out. Even if you see that, hey, this guy is going to move me, stand up and call them out. It's the right thing to do. So in this case, that's what South Africa is doing. And mainly because we have been through that type of victimization before. And we fought and we overcame it. And we are now moving forward. So we have the experience to stand up and say, find a more, win-win situation type of solution and build forward without the violence. For the benefit of the human race. At the end of the day, we're all human. If we continue bombing each other out, we're ending our very own human race. Trees and animals are looking at us laughing. Oh, and one thing, I think this is actually setting the tone for the year in terms of the stock market. America has also signed a very huge military budget because they know what they're about to do this year. So there are going to be certain companies that benefit from the chaos that's going to come. There are going to be certain companies that are on the losing end of the deal. It's very wise for you to identify which is which and make money even if the stock markets crash.